He was the nation's most famous train spotter. Far from a hobby, for Tim Fischer, locomotives became a lifelong obsession, championing rail every chance he got.
All aboard!
Whether it was annual treks to the highest peak in Australia,
Darling, ringing from the top of Kosi.
or pilgrimages through his beloved Kingdom of Bhutan,
It's a very sacred site.
he brought passion to every pursuit. But at heart, he was the boy from Boree Creek, and his lasting contribution was to the bush. By the time he entered the bear pit of New South Wales Parliament at 24, he'd already fought in the jungles of Vietnam.
Second Lieutenant Tim Fischer.
Conscripted to the army in the 1960s, he spent a year at war as an officer and a platoon commander.
Hello folks, surprise. I have this opportunity to wish you a happy Christmas.
In 1984, he made the move to Canberra, where he soon seized the Nationals' leadership.
My colleagues voted. The result is out, Laurie, and the rest is history.
Tall, awkward and sporting a staccato style of speaking, he didn't fit the mould.
Who are you, by the way?
I am Tim Fischer, Federal Leader of the National Party, riding your tram to stop number 41.
But in an era of big personalities, he still managed to make his mark.
I'm not a racist. I'm not a redneck.
His opposition to native title proved problematic, but showed he wasn't afraid to speak out. A landslide victory saw him catapulted to Deputy Prime Minister, but his mettle as leader was soon put to the test.
If the political process in Australia turns against me because of the decision that I have taken, I will accept that decision.
At great political cost, he backed John Howard's gun control laws,
Tim Fischer has displayed more guts on this issue than anybody.
bringing together a fractious party and facing the fury of Nationals voters threatening to switch support to One Nation.
We need to turn away from heading in the direction of the USA, and thank God we're not there yet. We'll exchange.
His frenetic pace earned him the nickname 2-Minute Tim. In just a few years as Trade Minister, he travelled to more than 60 countries, helping open up markets in China, India, even Iran. At home, he was a gnat's gnat.
How do you do, Rory?
With an Akubra permanently affixed, he was the ultimate grassroots campaigner, blazing the Wombat Trail. But to almost everyone's surprise,
I've had personal and particular cause to...
Tim Fischer abruptly called time on Canberra at the height of his political career.
You are one of the very genuinely loved people in this place.
Delivering his resignation letter in person to the PM.
You've done a fantastic job and very emotional and mixed feelings about it.
It was time to focus on his family and young sons Dominic and Harrison, who'd been diagnosed with autism.
All the time that I've known him, he's been in Parliament. All their married life, he's been leader of the National Party. And it's always been a constant struggle with himself as to how much time to devote to his private life versus his public life.
Because I married late in life, happily, to Judy, I perhaps have an absolute intense feeling about doing all I can to contribute to that marriage, to our family life, to Harrison and Dominic's development.
Typically, his was anything but a quiet retirement. He took up positions with Tourism Australia and the Royal Flying Doctor Service before his life of public service was capped off in the holiest of places. A devout Roman Catholic, Tim Fischer was sent to the Holy See as Australia's first resident ambassador. There, he famously spearheaded the campaign to canonise Australia's first saint.
And St Mary MacKillop. May God...
Tim Fischer sold up Boree Creek and moved to a cattle property in Victoria, where he assumed the role of Deputy Assistant Farmhand to wife Judy. He continued his advocacy of agriculture and gun control until ill health crept up on him quickly. It slowed him, then finally stopped him, as little else could ever do, in the active life of Timothy Andrew Fischer.